The cheaper your pleasures, the richer you'll be. Epicurus, an ancient Greek philosopher, held the belief that extravagant pleasures are not necessary for happiness. He argued that indulging in expensive, luxurious vacations, accumulating excessive wealth and possessions, or seeking power through politics ultimately do not lead to lasting satisfaction. In fact, he contended that such pursuits often leave us wanting more and can deplete our time, energy, and in some cases, our moral values. Epicurus himself embraced a simple life, finding enjoyment in modest pleasures like weak wine, bread, cheese, and philosophical discussions with friends. The video titled "Why Letting Go is True Wealth" aimed to articulate a philosophical perspective on minimalism. The term minimalism is used in various contexts, such as music, where it represents a style characterized by simplicity. Minimalistic art employs simple and abstract forms. Recently, there has been a growing trend of people adopting minimalism as a lifestyle by reducing their possessions to eliminate unnecessary clutter. These forms of minimalism share a common theme, using minimal resources to achieve a specific goal, whether it's creating beautiful music or art, or cultivating a pleasant living environment. The question arises, can we apply this principle to our overall well-being? How can we lead happy and prosperous lives without breaking the bank? Is it possible to find satisfaction without incurring significant costs? Can we achieve wealth with only the bare essentials? Throughout history, various philosophers have provided insights into these questions. This video explores different philosophical perspectives on wealth, desire, and pleasure, suggesting that true richness can often be achieved with frugality and simplicity. The poverty of the rich. Accumulating wealth and material possessions does not guarantee true richness. In many cases, wealthy individuals find themselves in a relentless pursuit of more, coupled with a constant fear of losing what they already have. This lifestyle can lead to stress, a lack of trust in others, and even isolation from those who are not financially privileged. While material wealth may be successfully amassed, it often comes at a significant cost. For instance, individuals who work excessively long hours, such as 80-hour work weeks, may have limited time for relaxation and minimal opportunities to spend quality moments with family and friends, relationships that Epicurus considered vital for well-being. Furthermore, research published in the American Journal of Industrial Medicine suggests that consistently working more than 40 hours a week can have detrimental effects on health, increasing the risk of coronary heart disease. Another study in the Journal of Occupational and Environmental Medicine found that working more than 45 hours a week for at least 10 years is associated with a heightened risk of cardiovascular disease. While not all wealthy people overwork and not all individuals who overwork are wealthy, a correlation exists between wealth and the tendency to overwork. This pattern highlights the sacrifices that some make in their pursuit of financial success. Thomas Merton's book, The Way of Chuang Tzu, presents his interpretations of Zhuangzi's timeless wisdom. The Taoist philosopher observed how the world places great value on money, reputation, long life, and achievement, while condemning lack of money, low social status, a reputation for inadequacy, and an early death. Remarkably, more than 2,000 years later, these values remain largely unchanged. Zhuangzi noted that people actively seek what the world values and avoid what it condemns. When they are deprived of what they seek, they often experience panic and despair. This pursuit of material gain can lead to unhappiness as individuals become slaves to their own desires, exhausting themselves in the process. As Zhuangzi eloquently stated, the rich make life intolerable. In this context, there are indeed significant drawbacks to the work hard, play hard approach. It raises the question of whether the enjoyment derived from such efforts justifies the labor involved. If not, and if one chooses to deviate from the pursuit of what the world values, does this inevitably lead to a life of misery? Alternatively, can individuals find more affordable pleasures that offer the same level of satisfaction and fulfillment? The cheapest pleasures. Many argue that Henry David Thoreau, the American transcendentalist philosopher, embodied a minimalist lifestyle. He resided at Walden Pond in a small cabin for 2 years, possessing only the essentials: a bed, a desk, a table, and a few chairs. Thoreau meticulously chronicled his experiences during this period, later publishing them in the book Walden. On March 11, 1856, in his journal, he expressed his disdain for wealth and extensive travel when compared to the simplicity of life, the natural surroundings, and the everyday phenomena in his village. Thoreau believed that if he allowed himself to become accustomed to luxuries, distant journeys, or the tastes of fine wine or brandy, these indulgences would gradually assume greater importance, while simpler pleasures would diminish in significance. He feared that he would require costly enjoyments to satisfy his needs. He suggested, for instance, that trading his native village for the city of Paris would be a miserable bargain. The pursuit of opulent pleasures often leads to increased expenses and complications. Moreover, some individuals may be enamored with the notion that the things they enjoy are expensive, rather than deriving genuine pleasure from these experiences. Thoreau, in contrast, found contentment in the ordinary events and everyday observations. The sensations he encountered during his daily walks, conversations with neighbors, and the sight of marsh hawks in Concord meadows. Thoreau asserted, "I am not ambitious in this sense. I do not wish my native soil to become exhausted and run out through neglect. Only that traveling is good, which reveals to me the value of home and enables me to enjoy it better. That man is the richest whose pleasures are the cheapest." In essence, true wealth is not measured by possessing the most, but by being content with what one has. Being overwhelmed by insatiable desires is a form of poverty, while contentment is a form of richness. As Epicurus once said, "If thou wilt make a man happy, add not unto his riches, but take away from his desires." But what are these inexpensive pleasures that Thoreau extolled? The concept of pleasure varies from person to person, and whether something is considered cheap depends on one's circumstances. For example, the 19th century author and evolutionary thinker Robert Chambers believed that reading was an economical source of pleasure. He noted, "Reading, in fact, is nowadays almost as free as air," emphasizing that the best pleasures are often the most affordable. Nature seems to suggest that limiting our desires to what is good, pure, and uplifting can lead to satisfaction without significant cost. Arthur Schopenhauer shared a similar perspective on pleasure, arguing that the highest pleasures are intellectual or sensory, such as thinking, appreciating poetry, learning, reading, and meditating. Schopenhauer contended that all other pleasures, those not of the intellect, come at the price of pain. Intellectual pleasures are often very inexpensive, as intellectual nourishment is readily available and virtually cost-free in today's world. However, Schopenhauer acknowledged that so-called lower pleasures can also be affordable. For instance, enjoying a delightful meal need not be expensive, especially when prepared at home, especially if it is a simple meal, aligning with Epicurus's philosophy. Walking, while requiring some muscular effort, is essentially a free and accessible activity. The best of all. What pleasure is both highly enjoyable and also budget-friendly? Epicurus may have an answer to that question. His philosophy introduced a distinction between active pleasures and passive pleasures. Active pleasures involve engaging in activities to fulfill desires, such as dining at a restaurant when hungry. On the other hand, passive pleasures occur when a desire is satisfied, like the feeling of no longer being hungry. Epicurus asserted that the highest pleasures are these passive pleasures, which essentially involve the absence of discomfort or, in simpler terms, contentment. Epicurus, much like Schopenhauer in his views on pleasure, believed that actively pursuing pleasures requires significant effort and can sometimes be perilous. The level of effort and danger associated with a particular pleasure depends on the specific activity. For instance, opening the refrigerator and grabbing some food doesn't demand much effort and is generally safe. Conversely, traveling around the world entails earning and saving substantial money, journeying between places, negotiating with others, and ensuring personal safety in unfamiliar territories. Static pleasure, in contrast, demands no effort at all. It is the feeling of contentment that arises after our needs are met. Schopenhauer too acknowledged that happiness primarily consists of peace of mind and contentment. However, achieving this state often requires curbing a powerful aspect of human nature he called the will to live, a challenge that may be too demanding for most individuals. So, how can we attain static pleasure? Is it possible to experience contentment frequently without embracing asceticism? If Thoreau, Chambers, Schopenhauer, Zhuangzi, and Epicurus were alive today, they might collectively agree that finding contentment through simple, affordable pleasures is a wise approach. These pleasures are readily accessible and require minimal effort to obtain, making them an ideal source of joy. This approach eliminates the stress associated with longing for rare and expensive indulgences. The more economical our chosen pleasures, the less time and energy we need to secure them, allowing us to relish the absence of desire for anything else. If this isn't the epitome of minimalism, then what is? Thank you for watching.